Okay, we should be live. Let me look at lay stream. Um, I'm not seeing it up here. Today is the 27th. Yeah, it is. Okay. So what's going on? Let's see. Maybe I just gotta refresh. Yeah, I did. Basic stuff. There it is. I'm not seeing it up here. Is it separated? No, it's not. Okay. Cool. Today is the 27th. Yeah, it is. Okay. Sick. All right. So we've got that going. All right. Wait just a bit. Because today we're going to start on a thread that I had posted a while ago that I'd low-key kind of forgotten about. Just to give people time to come in and see what we get. But yeah, I wanted to start with this. I think it's kind of a cool thing to start on for now. Let's enter full screen here. There we go. All right. So this is probably one of my favorites, just like headcanons, that is more than likely never coming true right now. But I mean, if and when I get to that point where I want to like continue with that whole Jack Oates or Jack Clover endeavor, I would probably start with this, honestly, because I think there's a lot of really good potential character building to be done with the Triad, and it never really happened. Well, I mean, not to say that it can't happen, but I think this one is super specific headcanon that I did enjoy. So I see people in the chat. I'll get to the questions real quick, but welcome Justin and hello Mark. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of read this. I know some of this is gonna be kind of outdated because I think this came out shoot when we found out Morris had Lucifero, or was possessed at least. So it just says, I had this headcanon that the Triad, with the possible exception of Xenon, don't know about Morris being a devil host. And we still don't really know if they did or not. I would have to assume they did not. I think it just works better for the story, in my own opinion. So to go in a straight line for my videos, I have Dante with Twin Devils. As you guys know, I always had him with Belphegor, but Belphegor is also there with Kiowa in Crowley's clipboard, but possibly fused together. Xenon, of course, with Beelzebub, and Vonica with Aishet, otherwise conflated with the Shekinah, Lilith, Pandora, and Drusilla. This supports the fact that Tigirian, which is Belphegor and Kiowa, is a reflection of the Thamael, and that Tigirian / Tiferet are said to be the byproduct or child of Binah and the Satariel, and Hokmah and the Gagael, which means Megicula is the dark mother of the Satariel, Beelzebub, the dark father of the Gagael, and Belphegor as their twin offspring. So for anyone that may have missed those videos, what I'm really talking about is this specific Triad here. So in like any lore that you read, a Triad's going to be Thamael, Satariel, Agael, or Gagael, and then your other two Triads are going to be Golachab, Gakshabla, and Tigirian, along with Samael, Areb Zarak, and Gamaliel. Those are your actual Triads. Now, in the occult, Triads don't operate like that because the Thamael or Keter can't actually be represented in a Triad. So what happens is Dot, the Abyss, does this like gravitational lens where what you see on one side is reflected on the other. So instead of the Thamael being represented in this Triad, it's now pointed downwards with the Satariel, the Agael, and Tigirian. So that was pretty much the basis of why I never really had Lucifer in this scheme of things, because he would not be represented. But there are still clip-outs with Lucifer in the Satariel, which lends to the fact that we don't actually have a Satan in this story yet. But we'll just keep going into this for now. We see that history has repeated itself in one fashion or another, and I think it would be poetic to have a dark Licht and Tethys story, where Beelzebub is a darker Licht and Megicula is a darker Tethys, even having two dark twins. Megicula says that Lucifero and the others haven't caught on to us, meaning she's not acting alone and sneaking around Lucifero's grasp. At first, I thought it was possible that Megicula was fused with the fourth sister, Agrat Bat Mallet, which could still be true, but she could be saying us because her and her family are trying to escape the clutches of the underworld. I don't believe for a second they thought that with a fraction of their power, coupled with the Zagratis' power, would be enough to topple the combined forces of every nation. I think they just need the first seal to open. Any others to open is a happy bonus to make it easier to bust out. Now, on to Morris. I think in his frame of thought, the Triad... Is it? Oh, it is super zoomed. Let me see if I can fix that. Hold up. Oh, you know what? It's probably just because I had it on full screen. Hold up. Let's see if that changed anything. That changed... No, I don't think it did. Alright, I have to adjust this little setting here then. Let me go back. Oh no, that did fix it. That did fix it. Okay. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Okay, so now on to Morris. I think the stream of thought, in this stream of thought, the Triad wouldn't have any idea that Morris is hosting a devil, and if they do, I don't think they actually know it's the real Lucifero. So I harp about it a lot, but Megicula being part of the ritual of the Advent instead of the true despotic ruler, Lucifero, which would be Lucifuge Rofocale in this situation, and I put this picture up for reference, because this is your typical layout of the clipboard. And here, I don't know why, I feel like a lot of people are just like, I don't know, I get really like anal about this, but when we talk about like these theories, I get really, I only get nitpicky because I hate it when people follow the lore halfway and then pick and choose like what they want to do. It just doesn't make any sense semantically. So we have to consider there should be a Lucifuge within this story. So that's why I put that picture there. But you don't see it on Crowley's clipboard. And that's not to say that he doesn't believe Lucifuge rules the Satariel, because even though he puts Lucifuge down here where Astaroth would normally be, bumps down Astaroth, which then bumps down Asmodeus. So this is taking out Baal or Baal for any of you people that say it like that. But anyway, this is Crowley's, and now Crowley is specific in the fact that Lucifuge, while he's there in his clipboard, also rules over the Satariel. I'm not quite sure how that does work, just considering, we don't usually have devils ruling over, separate realms as their individual self. We do have Aishet, who is still ruling the Gamaliel and the Lilith realm where Nama is down here, but these are two separate beings, and I put that in quotes because these are still part of her. But yeah, Lucifuge, I guess, in Crowley's is more dynamic, and it does make sense if you put it in the occult way, where this abyss really does separate these supernal beings that don't actually have a physical form, according to Cornelius Agrippa, to be able to pass down this rule of Lucifer to the lower realms that are more physical than that of the supernal. So it does make sense in that light. Anyway, so I harp about it a lot. Megicula being part of the ritual of the Advent instead of the true despotic ruler, Lucifuge Rofocale, means as long as you're supreme and from those realms, this Advent can be pulled off. With this thought, more speeding up the Advent would make sense, being that he has the actual ruler of the Sariel, thus completing the true triad needed to do this, and not just an arbitrary reason. Lucifero very well may have caught on and is helping with the summoning of the tree so that he can break out, even though I'm sure their plan does not entail actually letting Lucifero out at all. That's the end of that thought, but I also have another headcanon. So this goes into the backstory of the Triad, which I thought would have been really, really cool, or still could happen if Tabata goes this way. So Vonica in this case has Megicula because she is the crone aspect of Lilith. This is the elderly mother figure Vonica never had, who unironically is the dark mother of the clipboard. Xenon has Beelzebub because he needed a fatherly figure to aid him in his growth, also to help him become self-sufficient by manifesting his dark personality to get him to that point. And this fits the Gagael, as this is where one becomes absolute with himself through the dark father, who is Beelzebub. Then Dante might be my favorite. In this headcanon, we see this panel of Dante looking kind of depressed after what looked like a fun night. You know, he's got the lady in the bed, you know. And I don't know how to explain it, but I feel as though Dante would have considered a different path if he had children and been a great dad. So if he does have twin devils, Belphegor and Kiowa, I would love to see them want to be kings of the underworld as Dante would want to be king of the spade. And in a twist where he actually does not have Lucifero, they all fulfill their role where the twins pose as Lucifero and Dante actually does become strong and rules the way he intended, almost like a father playing as imaginary characters with his kids. These devils may be fulfilling a need that the Triad never had in their life, and this is just how I would write it myself. Admittedly, headcanon with some actual support from lore. Forgot to add that each of them probably had a plan of individual descent. I made a video about the purpose of the devil binding ritual. For those of you that didn't watch it or are not going to go watch it, the very short version of that is that I believe that the devil binding ritual is the end game is supposed to purify the devil, but then also have the human in that contract replace them within the clipboard to maintain a balance. So it kind of screws over the user, which makes sense for any like pact from a devil that you guys read about or even watch, like in Supernatural even. You have a limited amount of time. It even says it in the Faustian legend, where Faust even makes the deal, and he's only got, I think it was 24 years to live. And then after that, he goes to hell. But he lived how he wanted to live, with knowledge, women, money, power, all of that stuff. But that came with the price of his soul going to hell. So I do believe the purpose is to ultimately swap places with the devil that the mage has made a contract with only if the binding medium is the person itself and not a relic like Nox uses. So that implies that Asta and the Triad would have this kind of contract. The devil gains a soul or life, but possibly loses their power, while the mage in contract attains unfathomable power, but is trapped in the underworld without a soul and the power of the devil before them. So they have all this power, but they're limited to the underworld, where nobody wants to be. And this is why there's a mad scramble for these supreme devils to come up with their own vessels, so that they can keep that power and escape the clutches of the clipboard. With that said, they needed the first seal to open to let the energy of the clipboard run rampant. Then Megicula sets her malevolent incantation to prep when that seal opened, as we saw. She just played with her food a little too much, as all of these guys seem to do. I feel that Beelzebub and Xenon were somewhat one and the same, and Beelzebub was counting on Xenon to trade his soul for how loyal to protecting whatever it is he's trying to protect in the spade. And the devil core can't have just come from nowhere. I'm sure it's his own. There was something said. So I say that Beelzebub and Xenon are somewhat one and the same. I say that in the sense of like, and that spirit, like sun, one and the same. So I'll continue on here. So Megicula, being a third of three aspects of Lilith in lore, needed 3 strong females to descend, which makes sense as Lilith is a symbol of feminine power in lore. Beelzebub is about finding the absolute self, so Xenon's soul may be all he needed. The absolute self is a really cool concept. I've got all 3 books about the absolute self and how it pertains to magic in the series. And I was going to put out a video. There were several videos that were supposed to come out when Xenon and Beelzebub pulled off what they did versus but I ultimately decided not to drop them because it is a ton of information, and I think we can live without that information. But if Xenon makes this comeback, I'm more than happy to put out that stuff, because the absolute self is a really cool concept overall, and it really fleshes out the thought that Crowley had started. But yeah, it's really cool. Just to continue, as for Belphegor and Kiowa, I'm not too sure at the moment, but the closest I can get is that the plan is to get the kids out first, since they are closer to the physical realm than Megicula or Beelzebub in this case. Then they would just take care of their own descent. Yeah. So, oh yeah, okay. So I guess I just add, is that all there is to this? Okay, that's weird. It has this big blank space. But anyway, Morris missing his sight has the devil that opens the eye of negative light of Lucifer. Lucifero would equal Lucifuge or Flacal in this case. And I'm kind of leaning that way now, to be honest with you guys. Because the Cetariel is where Lucifuge is, and that is where the third eye begins to open. Now, we see that Lucifero has a third eye, and it's just a slit. It's not anything major like Megicula's was. But it does look like it's the start of an opening to the third eye, and that's exactly what the Cetariel is. So I'm gonna keep saying it until I'm blue in the face, and that's hard because I'm black. So I'm gonna be saying it forever. But this is not my Lucifero. This is not my Lucifer. This is not my Satan. This is my Lucifuge. This is definitely my Lucifuge, and I will stay by that. But yeah, I wanted to start with that just to get people in here, see what's going on in the chat now. So Justin, who do you think is more likely to die between Libe, Asta, or Yami? That's a good question. I of course don't think Asta's gonna die. If anything, I'm still with him, falling in quotes, so kind of dying. For all intents and purposes, I'd probably say Asta, because I do think Libe will be resurrected, or purified in a sense. And Yami dying now, I just don't know. I don't like the thought of Yami dying in the heat of battle. It just doesn't capture my interest like it does for other people. I'd rather see him lose whatever amp he's got outside of battle and start crumbling away and just become ash or something and get Thanos. So out of these 3, I would definitely say Asta right now. Mark's here. Yep, we got it. Cool. Buzz, what's up, Goat? Can't say for long. Hope you had a good time streaming. He's going to bed, so we're actually going to go to his page right now. So he wanted to redeem himself since he didn't have that much BC content last time. Justin, another question: how do you see the Triad coming back into the story? I think I had a video on this. So, in short, what I'm seeing is they're within the clipboard right now as either high ranking or Supremes themselves. Now, I would probably go with high ranking for Dante and Vonica, while Xenon takes on a Supreme form as Belial, being his new moniker. So that's what I'm seeing, and if those gates end up opening, that's how I see them coming out. So I see them coming out maybe later on in the story, if and when this Advent takes place again, and we see them that way. It's a long shot though. How do you... Oh, I just read that. What do you think of the theory of Asta being Jesus and 2 black bulls are going to die? I have plenty of videos on here that talk about Asta being like Jesus, pretty much. I don't. Well, and two black bulls are going to die. Why specifically two black bulls? I don't know why it's just two. Love your BC theories. Thank you. My battery is not at 100%. My I'm looking at my phone right now. Yes, my computer battery is at 100%. Yami's face is starting to crack. It just seems to be long coming. Wait, so you think when Liabe gets purified, he'll become an angel? In a sense, he would become an apostle, if anything. And I don't think apostles are angels. They're just more placeholders and keys for the clipboard and the Sephiroth. But yeah. Cellmate has a theory that he's making about Lucifero potentially taking Morgan's soul, possibly allowing him to access light and dark magic. Well, that's interesting. Since they both dwell within the Satari L. So I'm assuming you have Lucifero as Lucifero Focal in your theory, which, yeah, definitely would make sense. But that's cool with Morgan's soul. That'd be cool. I don't have enough tabs open, Philip. That's a lot of research of a lot of the stuff that I end up putting together. Seeing the power of Lucy is just flexing. Do you think they have any single chance of winning? Absolutely. Oh yeah, they do. This guy is I'm not saying he's not impressive, but this is not my be-all end-all level for sure. Not by any means. He's honestly a little bit whack. If we're talking about end game power, he just doesn't have it. Not for me. When I think of, end game villains or just end game types of plays, I'm thinking of someone who's very cerebral, tactical, as well as strong. So like Aizen is the perfect example. With Aizen, I felt true, there was no hope. I felt hopelessness. I was like, they're not getting out of this without ass pulls. And that's kind of what happened. Aizen was the perfect villain for me. Eren Yeager, oh my god, I just finished the anime. And my god, that is my type of, that's my type of villain, if you will. Is just playing the long game, wildly powerful, but took some really cool tactics to get to where they did. Right now, Lucifero is not showing, that much practicality, to be honest. There was something about 2 of Jesus' disciples dying in the Bible, if I remember correctly. That's why I said 2. Oh, I have no idea about that. I don't really equate the Black Bulls to disciples either. So whoever made that theory is the one you're going to want to ask. Close to 60 tabs. Are you counting? That is not 60 tabs. This very fight, no retreat, no. Retreat. That is, if I'm reading that right. True. Let's go to Buzzard's page, because he said he had some stuff for me to, I spelled Broku's name wrong on the last stream. Dude. The lag. Alright, we're going to check noties real quick before we do that. Okay. Oh, perfect. So Buzzard's up. Cool. While this is loading, I really hate seeing this trend. This bugs me a whole lot. So, and it's prevalent for just about everyone. Buzzard, really dope BC content creator. He also makes other content, if I'm not mistaken. Has 2,000 and something, almost 3,000 subs, right? But only 1,500 followers. It's so weird how it's always that dynamic. Broku is about the same too. J Cloud, those guys are hitting up 50,000 subs and are netting 3,000 followers on Twitter. I just don't know how that works. It's weird to me. Okay, that was the pin. So that's not BC. That was 9 minutes ago. Thank you for reposting that, my guy. Okay, here we go. So Buzz says Black Clover has the best healing excuse that it boggles the mind why it isn't more brutal in its violence. You know what? Just off of that, absolutely. Like, dog, we got the greatest healers up in this series, and you won't show us Lucifero brutalizing the captains. He just threw them around, man, like ripping. Thank you. I agree with that completely. Actually, this series has the utmost potential to just completely ruin a character's physical body, and then get healed, but it just doesn't happen. We get these very shonen-y deaths, and it's I don't want to say boring, but I don't think it's realistic to that universe for these bodies not to be getting like shredded to pieces sometimes. Because we also have to remember too, like a regular mage's body isn't muscular like Asta's. It's not well put together like that. They're very lean and skinny, and that's what they think is beautiful in that world. So I think them not having those defensive capabilities is, it's more practical to see them get ripped out. But then to defend that against that, they do have things like Mana Skin that could keep them together and Mana Reinforcement spell. So it's just, I guess you could explain it away like that. But I do agree. I wish this wasn't a shonen sometimes, because this could be a wild, wild series. He knows, because BC isn't a gory manga, but I'm just saying Tabata just increased the lines on the captain's faces after Lucifero punches them. It can be very gut-wrenching considering this is the devil, which we were just saying, right? For Lucifero, this doesn't really seem like, this is the guy we've been fearing the whole time. Like, he came out with a cool entrance, but he's slowly starting to become more and more just like, how do we defeat this guy? This is just like the next level, the next ceiling. Let's see. Cool counter to healing magic getting used on Asta would be his arm constantly draining the healer as healing was being done. This is what I thought happened to Mimosa in the Seke chapter, and I thought that was why her spell broke. Would have been cool to take it that way, not gonna lie. Like, if Asta gets injured, that's it. That would have been a nice draw. That's interesting, yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe, I don't know if if Buzz here is actually just like honing in on the healing portion of it, like if only healing magic does that. But I think it makes sense, like, for almost any magic to come Asta's way, especially going towards that arm, for the magic to kind of get negated or sucked in at least, so that he can't actually use it. Yeah, that's interesting for sure. He's got a couple more up here. Let me look at the chat real quick. So Black Knight. Oh man, it's a long one. Okay. In the last stream, I wrote my theory about disappearing of Nox's cross from his grimoire. Nox was afraid that he would dim Morgan's light when he is standing next to him, is what I meant. And that Morgan represents the cross on his grimoire, his love, hope, and faith. And with Morgan dead, aka Nox's light, is my theory why his white cross from his grimoire has disappeared. Nox himself indicated that in chapter. Okay. So if I'm getting what you're saying right, I would fundamentally disagree, because then what's happening is you're attaching a person to the grimoire, like a third party to someone else's grimoire. And what Nox was saying in that chapter was not meant as like Morgan's, he was saying that Morgan was such a nice person, a nice presence, that it could be reflected as light. And I just wouldn't agree with that. Nox or Morgan's like light personality gave Nox grimoire that cross, because for reasons just stated. But I see what you're saying now. Philip, Black Clover as ascending would be dope as fudge to see. Much gorier, more fucked up devils and acts of violence. Not quite as brutal as Berserk, but close. Yeah, absolutely. I've been hoping for some crazy devil designs. Not to say these devil designs aren't cool, but I want some true to lore looking devils, like some ugly motherfuckers. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Buzz is here. Okay, cool. There's more below the ones on screen too. Gotta go a little bit further down, but it's interesting, I swear. Cool. I don't doubt it is interesting. Thoughts on Asta possibly losing anti-magic? Oh, I absolutely think he will lose anti-magic, especially if Liebe is purified or resurrected somehow. That is what I'm banking on. I actually talked about a really simple and asinine theory with WK a couple days ago that I'll probably share with you guys at some point in the stream, but you got to remind me. And it's like mind-numbingly simple, and it does have some complexities that involve and all that good stuff. But yeah. Anyway, let's continue with Buzz. So I eventually want a villain, maybe final villain in Black Clover, whose motivation is removal of all magic from the world. The great equalizer, someone who'd make everyone live at the same level. Something like magic is the reason for the tragedies of the world. So that kind of goes into like my video on Asta and Liebe being Metatron and Xenophon. So I'll die on this hill for sure, because I've had to do it on Facebook when I posted this video. I got a lot of backlash. So I do not equate apostles of Saphira with angels. I think they are the key to getting to angels, as they were the key to unlocking some aspects of the underworld, but they are not angels. So with that said, we don't know what system angels would be using. And I've already stated in previous videos and on the last live that I don't think mana stems from heaven, if you will. I think it stems from hell. And I think it's the rule of the darkest clipboard lord, which would be Satan, since we have Lucifero right now, would be Satan, who makes this rule and is the new Aeon. So remember, we kind of talked about Aeons last stream, and also it is a completely separate video that I forgot to edit. There was a bunch of spaces, and you can kind of hear me getting frustrated with myself. Like, why can't I just read the script? But yeah, so if mana is stemmed to the underworld, because we've seen mana corrupt more than it purifies, then angels could very well be on a different system entirely, which does set up Asta and Liebe to something much cooler in the long run. But not to go over that huge spiel again, but we just have to remember, like, some of those more ancient texts, about the halls of Amenti, that is still practiced today by some Kabbalists, is that everything physical is made by demons. But everything that we hold close to us, like love, the things that we think about and feel, are made by angels in heaven. But now, here's the kicker, and here's the spoiler, since we only got, 10 people in here? And we're good ways in, like, past the people that would, like, click the VOD and then, like, okay, it's kind of boring, I'm going to log off. So it's just going to be for you guys, really, and for anyone who actually listens to this whole thing. So he wants an endgame villain that wants to take out mana, right? So, and this is going to be a completely separate video, because this is a really cool dynamic. We talk about the concept pleroma. Now, just think of a circle. Just think you drew a circle on a page, right? That is the pleroma. This is the perfect god. And then draw like a little nucleus in the center. That is the god. And anything outside of that is just, his own light, if you will. So then within this light, he starts birthing these things. And the further and further it gets away from that nucleus, the less divine it is. But these are still divine because it's within that circle of the pleroma, which is perfection. So now you get to the outer edges, and then you still start creating, but now these are hitting the outside of the circle onto this paper, right? And this is where more imperfect things start coming into play, less divine than that of the pleroma. So there's a story about the Pistis Sophia. This is the female god that stemmed from one of the last emanations of perfection that this god put out, and one of the creations is paralleled as Prometheus, who steals fire from the gods. So Yaldabaoth is the name, and we kind of talked about him in the last stream. Yaldabaoth steals power from Sophia so that he can create his own universe to rule over. Now, Sophia, when this happened, fell from grace. So this happened simultaneously, and it's kind of weird because time is different when you reach like these huge divine levels, right? But she falls into his own universe, and so this starts the story of Pistis Sophia. But now, Yaldabaoth is not good by any means. He's actually an evil god, but he creates the Sephiroth and the angels that serve him. So every angel in this tree is serving an evil god. So then, and this is why I said it's going to spoil, because then we get to a point where Metatron is the highest angel, along with Sandalphon, and it turns out that Metatron was being betrayed by the person who picked him and Sandalphon from humanity to be righteous divine beings, the angel, the king of angels, and thus they kind of realize how screwed they are. But there's more to that. But I think that is the end game, and I love the idea of just like, okay, we finally pinpointed what the source of good is, just to find out that there was really no good in this story at all. And the best part of it were the humans or the elves and the people living on Earth. And everything else was messed up. So, I don't know. There's a beauty to that for me. I kind of went on a tangent. I'm going to look at this real quick. If I'm being honest, they can actually add gore to BC, but not like Tokyo Ghoul gore. Yeah, yep. Thoughts on Adremelech? You're going to have to give me something that you want to know about Adremelech, bro. Because I got a lot of thoughts on Adremelech. The fourth sibling tweet is the last one, by the way. Okay. How do you think Lucifero's backstory is going to go? I actually have a Jack Clover on my channel about Lucifero's backstory. It involves Megicula. Maybe we'll go into it a little bit. Do you think the BC power scaling is going to go off the rails as time goes on? And do you think Tabata is going to run out of different magical characters? No, I don't think it's going to go. I don't think he's going to run out of ideas for sure. But yeah, the power scaling can get insane, because I've always thought about that panel of like, Monozone can help. It's due to translations, and I know I got into like heated debate with someone about like exactly what it means, and we even went into the kanji about it, and it still is inconsistent. So there's that panel where they say, where Mario Leona is talking about Monozone, and it says that it can help a mage move through space. Now the debate is whether space just meant like space within a room, within that zone, or within space, like outer space. But the kanji used for it is also used for sky. So it's kind of up in the air, and when they use Monozone in that kanji again, they don't use the same. So in that specific case, I do very much believe they meant through like outer space. So if that is the case, and we do have a devil of space, Beelzebub, it would make sense that power scaling gets ridiculous in this series. All right. Oh my God, Jack, you got to read Magi if you haven't. I've not read Magi. The lore within the series is kind of the same vein. Magi is fantastic. I've got a lot of things on my read list. I've been slacking a lot, to be honest. But Magi, I'll put on my list for sure. I heard this Bachman said the time demon was... What's a Bachman? I heard this Bachman said the time demon was possessing Asta's body during Lucifero's fight, and Liabe is the future reincarnation of Asta that sends back into the past. I don't know about the time devil possessing Asta, but the time devil influencing Asta in some events that pertains to Asta, yeah, for sure. I can see that happening. I think Broku said something about that. All right, back to Buzz. Do you still consider Lucifero to be a threatening villain? No, I don't. Let's see what everyone else thinks. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't, actually. 103 votes within an hour? Bro, Buzz is running up these numbers, yo. That's what's up. Okay. There's something about Lucifer, or the brother. He said, let's see. A lot of Magi stuff. Don't know. I hear there's just racism in Magi. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, this is what he's talking about. Cool. The fourth sibling is the perfect opportunity for Tabata to really level up the writing for villains. He has an interesting for the greater good goal. None of the antagonists so far have had that kind of motivation. His sickness combined with the idea of utopia for humans. Let me see what else is up here, though. Sorry, the lag is ridiculous right now. My computer is struggling. All right. It's like prime material for good characterization. Adding the possibility of him manipulating his siblings and orchestrating some plot twist down the line would really be just about perfect. Dante posed a question to Asta that Asta wholeheartedly has a response for. But what if the fourth sibling's goal is presented in a manner that Asta actually agreed with? That'd be very cool to see, the ideas being agreed upon, but the execution being disagreed upon. At the end, even though obviously the good guys will win, if it leaves a doubt within Asta's, that's what's good enough for me. Yeah, I like that. Honestly, that's what most anime come down to, right? Is people always hate using Naruto as reference. I love that series, and I love this series, and there are things that we can relate to within both. So I'm just going to use it. So like in Naruto, we have all these characters that are striving for peace, and they don't want anyone else to die. Innocent people, and anyone of the like. Then you have the ultimate villain. Villain, I put in quotes. There's a handful of villains in Naruto. Madara is not one of them. And I also don't think Obito is one of them. Madara was trying to make sure that everyone lived a life where they won. He didn't want any losers. However, the path for him to get to that meant killing a ton of people, which then falls under the scope of evil and not good. So then he's deemed as a villain in that sense. However, the end goal that he was getting to was peaceful. And I think more of the same can be said about someone like Eren Yeager. Extremely violent means to get to his end goal, and still violence henceforth, but the products would end up creating some amount of peace. So I think that makes sense overall. Now, for the fourth sibling in particular, I think that's going to be one of the most interesting parts that separates BC from a lot of other series, because there's just this vibe that you get from the fourth that you don't get from anyone else, and it seems more evil than anything else, even Lucifero right now. And it's very subtle, and he's obviously very smart. And I do think he's already manipulated events. Not to say he's got the time devil or anything like most people speculate, but I do think somehow that devil that was encountered within the dungeon by Alan and Xenon and their team was put there somehow by the fourth sibling, so that Xenon would come crawling back and to be the devil host he was meant to be. So I do think that's already happened. And I'm honestly getting like sort of Eisen vibes about this guy. He's a sleeper villain for sure. But yeah, I do think it presents a nice opportunity for a plot twist, actually. So yeah. And as far as the sickness goes for the fourth, I think I've said this before, maybe once, but there's always been this trend of like sickly people being a really good vessel for the ultimate evil. And I don't know what it is about the body being decrepit that makes it a more suitable host sometimes. But that definitely is a theme for a lot of series in and out of anime. But yeah, I think this is a really cool thought, Buzz. But yeah, you guys sub to Buzz, follow Buzz if you don't already. His it's literally on the screen, so you guys have no choice. Let's see what other people are up to. Thank you, Buzz, for letting me use your account. Lucky for you, I didn't have anything to slander. Next time I might. Let's see. Okay, we got some likes. Don't care. Should I be worried? Yeah, sure, you should be worried. Let's go to Avs. We were about to slander Av to hell and back, but I know he's got some hentai up here. I know it. Let me read the chat before I go on, though. Do I think the time devil was already there? No. Tabata keeps showing us the clock tower. I went on a bit of a rant on the clock tower last stream, Mark. We have to realize that clock tower is made up of gears, and it's been smashed. Not to, like, pieces, but I would have to assume it's not actually operating like it should. Now, I understand, like, it can still be there to represent the fact that the time devil is somewhere there. Until it's brought up, time is such a fickle thing to write. So, I mean, it could easily be there, and it can easily just not be there. Yeah, I really don't have much of a stance on it, but if I really had to say something, I would say the time devil just isn't here right now. What do you think the application of the Dremelick's poison magic will be? Poison magic is pretty broken, even more so than anti-magic. In my opinion, it's nearly impossible to defend and evade against, too. So, this was kind of the thread that I had put out a couple days ago. Going back to the idea that devils and the pattern of their magic correspond to everything that we readily find in the universe in front of us. Fire, ice, gravity, space, things like that. You have a Dremelech who is in the realm of Samael, who are the poisons of God. So we have a Dremelech who's got black hair, and we don't have any devils with black hair, except for Asta, if you want to count. And I think it's cool to count Asta in this. And I got some other stuff to say, but it's already another video that I'm editing. So I think black hair is indicative of someone who has more divine ties to heaven. So we have to remember in lore, Samael the Black is outside of the spectrum where you have lore that says he's Satan himself. You also have Samael the Black, who is just his own being, who is, again, the poison of God or the angel of death. Now, he preferred hell, or more namely, hell's women, and was just too horny for his own good. So he didn't really get yeeted by God. God was like, look, like, you're cool, but, like, I don't really mess with this, like, devil woman thing, so you're kind of not allowed back in heaven. But if you want to stay in hell, that's cool, and you can still work for me. And Samael in that case, agreed. See you later, Buzz. Thanks for coming in, bro. So yeah, he's operating as an angel and as a devil. And because his task as an angel is so demonic, if you will, and can fall easily under someone's spectrum of evil, he's fulfilling both roles. So now we have a guy who's going to have an attribute who, if he's demonic, will have something we can readily find in the universe in front of us. Poison is readily found. However, we also have to remember the occult side to this, where this is also the realm where the illusion of reality starts to lift. And this is the job of angels, is to help people ascend. So to break down reality, if you will, it goes back to this panel, this very intentional panel that Tabata put in by Noel, saying that magic is just the ability to alter reality or make reality how we want to see it. Which just furthers this illusion and keeps them trapped on Earth, essentially. So I think with Adremelech's magic, it's going to fulfill both those roles. While poison is readily found here, it's going to have qualities that are also angelic, and look more like anti-magic, because like I said in that video about Asta being Metatron and Liebe being Sandalphon, that angels will have something to directly counter the devils and things that are physical. So that includes magic. So yeah, that's kind of what I think, at least. Let's see. Do you think Julius will be a villain? I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. I'm not a huge fan of Julius being a villain right now. I think Tabata has included way too many elements for him to add Julius as... I guess not add to some people, but to include Julius in on this, like, this evil agenda, I think it's a little too much. Julius has given us a lot of reasons for us not to think that he's evil, but I can see why people think that he might be a villain, especially with time magic. But me personally, no. Making the sick person be super manipulative is also a trope. I think it is. He's spreading his theories as leaks, but I had talked to leakers and YouTubers about Bachman. They haven't heard of him. I've never heard of this guy. I mean, it's whatever. I don't know. Just found it odd. I think Julius will show up at the end of Lucifero's fight and sends Lucifero into the past. That leads to killing Lucida, because Lucifero can't remember it. I believe it hasn't happened yet. That'd be really interesting. That would be a really cool element to incorporate, actually, if Julius has that ability. But if we're going the scientific route, time only has one motion. And I believe we talked about this in another video, too. Time has one motion, and that's forward. Going back in time would require, like, specific replacement of molecules and celestial bodies in every part of the universe for it to be pulled off, realistically, at least. So then you have Julius, who's got this... he uses this this sphere to kind of mess with people, and in that stasis spell. And I pretty much debunked it as to, like, this is how Tabata bypasses that rule by just affecting that space and that person. But if applied that way, that'd be really cool. But yeah, we haven't seen Julius reverse time, which is kind of crazy. So we'll see. That's your pinned. What do you have going on, dude? What are you talking about already? Oh, dude, you haven't posted anything since this? I commented on this. But yeah, Superman not saving people like that. Come on. I don't know. This is why I can't get behind, American comics. They were kind of ridiculous. I hear they're good now, though. Money don't lame people. Okay, that's true. Let's look at this. We got a nice stallion, but it falls apart at Hiruzen. I agree, wholeheartedly. Hiruzen was trash as a Hokage, for sure. Not saying he wasn't powerful, but Hiruzen was absolute garbage. Fire Force ending, still crying about it. Come on, get over it, Av. Love is War. I don't do slice of lives. It's never been my thing, if that was a slice of life. Rukia's in there. Oh no, I know this is about to be a bad take. What's it gonna be? Best female leads. Oh really? You know what? I kind of agree. Not to say Rukia was awful, but compared to Noel, actually I don't know who these other two people are. So actually I don't know if I agree, Av. You have mostly awful takes, so I'm just gonna disagree. Just straight up disagree. Whatever. Let's see. That's a good picture. Did you ask me if you had anything to worry about? And I'm already on February 20th. It's been 7 days, my guy. You haven't posted anything, Black Clover. And you wanted to be the hive leader? And the last thing about Black Clover is, like, actually about Black Clover? Come on. You're lacking. Yami is Lucifero's devil host. Uh, I can see that happening. Do I want it to happen? Absolutely not. Hey, I've been meaning to ask this. We don't have a tail on a Dremelec, do we? Because I saw like a random artist pop up on my TL today, and they had a tail that I didn't recognize. It was a Dremelec and Leobe, and I was like, wait, is that supposed to be Leobe's tail? But Leobe's tail is in there. But I don't think we actually have a tail on a Dremelec, which is also interesting. Okubo and what is this? That's Noel. Secret. Who is this? Oh, that's Vanessa. Okay. I didn't know what was going on. That's a pretty banger art, though. I like how they have Charmy's wolf back there. That's cool. Why is Fragile so irrelevant? That's what I'm saying. You guys remember Fragile, right? The ice lady. Come on, we had Lilith, who was literally an ice mage. Like, she should be kind of important somehow, but she's not. Zapata is actually a clown for this caption. Zor's the beats, but still, show them the willpower of a senpai. You're whack, bro. Get out of here. You're whack. You're whack. I'm reading Mellocopian. I mean, Noel Theory. He's saying Mellow's in the mud, that she's been out of the spotlight? Dude, stop. Stop. This guy's supposed to be a BC hive leader. Yeah, Noel's kind of down bad right now. I don't know the future for Noel. You guys tell me what you think, because right now she is hitting a bit of irrelevancy. But we still don't know if she learned Ultimate Magic or not. We can assume she probably did. Or maybe they just prioritized the whole Saint Stage thing, which is smart. But we'll see. Hopefully she got a little bit of Ultimate Magic in there. But yeah. If Yami and Octa using Monozone full release, this could have them susceptible to decay from being too close to mana like Mario Leona. I think... No. I think what's happening with Mario Leona is wildly different from someone just like, using the full release of their own mana. We have to remember she's been bathing in volcanoes in those high mana regions. So like she's using a form of to me it seems like she's using some type of form of ultimate magic or natural magic. And I think she's being corrupted by it because she's been exposed to so much of it. So I don't think anything like that would happen. Not for me, at least. Truthfully, the way Tabata is writing his sequence of villains seems so brilliant to me. He keeps upgrading them as I see it. Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere else he can go but up, for sure. Yeah, Black Hole Sun type. Yep. That Black Sun, that's all Belphegor, my people. That's all Belphegor. Belphegor. All right. As soon as we start hitting Sonic stuff, I'm out. Thank you, Av. We got Mick liking some stuff. All right. So I got tagged by Mark, who's in the stream, I do believe. Let's see what this is. Oh, please no, it's a picture. Someone go look at this. Because I refuse. I don't know you that well, Mark. So as soon as I see a picture, I'm automatically out. Until then, I'm gonna read the chat. You guys also, if there's an account that you guys want me to go to, just let me know. And I'll check it out. Let's see. Also, have you read Dragon Ball? Dragon Ball. You guys ready for this one? Dragon Ball's trash. And I say trash in the most endearing of senses, okay? The fights are cool. The story is garbage. Complete garbage. I don't know what else to say about that. It's lacking in more areas than it's not lacking. And I'm sorry to say that. But I love me some Dragon Ball Super. Like, I'll binge it and I'll watch it. I love watching those fights. But other than that, the series overall is trash for me. Cellmate. You've got another theory attributing Ciel to the Greek goddess of the moon. Considering Yuno's connection to Greek mythos, it could be their Ciel, meaning heaven, is definitely intentional. Absolutely. And we find out Ciel was more intentional as soon as Yuno had star magic, and his favorite thing was looking at the sky in his character bio. So yeah, super intentional. I do equate Ciel to someone different that I might end up talking about. I just haven't found enough to my standards about. But yeah, definitely. Broku, what's up? Did you notice how this chapter confirmed ultimate magic can kill devils mid-rank and higher? Who used ultimate magic? Hold up. No, I didn't, Broku. Do you want to link me to where you see that? This is the thing. I think I've said this before. Black Clover is a pretty cool fandom just because there's a wide multitude of theorists that focus on different things. So like, I'm very devil/occult oriented, right? Wizard King Minato is very science oriented. And then Broku is really good about all this Norse stuff and the power scaling and just noticing stuff like he just pointed out. So like, I'm really bad at that sort of stuff. So I'm curious to see what observation he made to get there. Cellmate, Adremalek is a gentleman. He tucks his tail. I thought it'd be fascinating that the Time Demon will trade places with Asta during Lucifero's fight by sending a soul into the past as Liabe. That's interesting. Shelley, I would have to assume that you probably have the Time Devil as Astaroth then. I would assume. Just from what you've been saying. Mark is swearing it's nothing devious. Shelley, do you think Noel could be the daughter of Archangel Gabriel or Azure Dragon that connected to Asian lore? No on Archangel Gabriel. Azure Dragon, I'm not completely sure. Tabata doesn't make all that many references to Asian lore. The biggest one was Raijin Luck, and a couple of other things. But we've seen more Ethiopian lore than Asian lore, actually, and that's saying something. So, yeah, I don't think it would be connected to anything of that sense. But if you've got something, feel free to let me know, man. What are you talking about, man? I don't know. What was I talking about that prompted you to say that? The pick is safe for work. Okay. We'll check it out. Let's see what he did. All right. So Mark put me in. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, Rouge. Dude, actually, now I think about it, I haven't seen Rouge post anything. Maybe we'll go there. Let's start a serious Black Clover discourse. Oh boy. Who's more likely to be... Yeah, the Witch Queen. I don't have to read the rest of this. I don't care. The Witch Queen is more likely to to be hosting a devil, for sure. What? So, yeah. I mean, it's not impossible that both of them are, but at least one of them are. Now, I'm not saying that she's a direct host, or else we would have seen that by now, I feel like. But I do think at least her lover was a devil, or her son may have been a devil. Who knows? But yeah, I've got plenty of stuff on this channel talking about the Queen of Witches. But I'll read this just for you, Mark. Both have a second ability not relating to the original. Julius has transformation ability, time magic, and Witch Queen has fortune telling ability, not blood magic. Right. Also with the Ravens. So to talk on this first point, I've made a thread on Julius's ability to transform, and it's one of two things for me. One is that he's using what is known as the feminine art of magic, which is called Sed, which was used by Odin as he was learning how to use runes. And like I said, it has to do with runes, and it is considered feminine in nature, but it's just white magic. But to Vikings and whatnot, they considered it feminine. And then two, we have to remember that he came across a swallowtail, right? So to use Lola Pechka in this, she's able to use the knowledge of all the past queens, and she's able to turn into like the literal previous queen. But the one time we see Julius transform, it's into this old lady. This old lady, though, is also shown in part of the people who were one of the wizard kings, in her case, wizard queen. It's like the exact same person. So I think what's happening is more of what happens with Lolo Pechka, rather than it is a second magic ability. That's my take on it, at least. Now, the Witch Queen, yes, I agree with what's happening there. There's more, so I'll click. I see Broku got back into this. Let's see what the second thing is real quick. Oh, these are really quick, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, no. How many are there? Oh, no. We're going to read Broku's thing before we get into this. Okay. Lucifero said that the thought that Mario Leona could kill him in chapter 324. Hellfire Incarnate brings Mario closer to Mana, which is exactly what Triad says ultimate magic is. Oh, yeah, true. Did he? Oh, yeah. Because I was wondering where he would say that he was threatened by Mario, but he obviously was. So, yeah, definitely. Mark, it was more about the Witch Queen, but yeah, it was both. Did you read the whole thing? No, I'm still going. Soul Samurai. Jack, do you think the Time Devil is up to something in this arc? Because in the recent chapters, the clock tower started to show up in the background of the chalt of the chapter, maybe? I don't know. Again, no, I don't think so. Yeah. Could easily be there, but I don't think so, just based off the clock tower being there now. Okay, what's the second point here? The Time Devil has the same magic as Julius, yes. That is a fact. Witch Queen was defeated. We also, okay, let's also put something into perspective here. The Faust is where we got this idea that the top three were space, gravity, and time, right? The top three devils. When we come to find out that Lucifero, if this is the real Lucy, which it's showing up to be, doesn't actually have gravity magic. So we have to consider what time and space really look like, and if these are actually attributes or more so omens and byproducts of their actual attribute. I think that's something we have to consider. Just saying. But yeah, Witch Queen was defeated and saved in chapter 100, just like Patri on 200. And okay, I don't normally, agree with these like chapter number things. It just ends up falling apart. But I'm going to assume these are right, which is interesting. That's cool. But how do they correlate? Like, how does that correlate with the Witch Queen being a devil host? Okay, for the Witch Queen has crow relics similar to Nox devil relics on her neck and hat. I actually didn't look at those feathers as relics, but I guess you could. But yeah, I see what you're saying. That's interesting. Okay. 5, the crow devil Ram exists in demonology, and the Witch Queen is always accompanied by crows in demonology. And this devil also has the ability of fortune telling and is sacred of cats. Vanessa's red thread of fate took the form of a cat. Oh, that's also interesting. I've never heard of Ram. On this point in particular, I would personally just say that I think Ram is not important enough for this series. And I only say that because I've gone back and forth in my through most of my sources here. the Book of the Red Dragon being one of them. It's just not that important. And the thing with devils and just almost any entity that you're studying, right, is there's bound to be things that overlap a lot. So like a lot of these devils between the like supremes that we know of have overlapping duties, like finding treasure, giving knowledge of science, giving knowledge of arts, and all that stuff. A lot of those things start overlapping, so it's kind of tough to just say like, yeah, the specific devil does this. But considering what we've been given in Black Clover, we're usually working with named devils. And when we're talking about crows and all that stuff, I instantly just go to Baal, which is in the realm of Ravens of Dispersion. So that's how I take it. And that's why I've had that video talking about how the Witch Queen, her lover could have been Baal, or on Crowley's clipboard, Asmodeus. That's my take. But I do appreciate the attention to detail, though, that I did not know any of that. 6, kind of a reach, but both showing their back in their official profiles and looking at the reader from exactly opposing sides. Interesting. Tabata does have a way of revealing those kind of details like that. Both have blue tattooed faces. Okay. How many points are there? I'm going down a whole rabbit hole. Okay. 8. Even more evidence in opening 2. I don't watch openings, you guys, so I have no idea what this is. So when you guys are talking about, like, oh, this opening and what happened in the ending scene, and I have no idea because I don't usually watch stuff. We've discussed how Black Clover openings and endings foreshadow things that didn't happen in the manga, yet like Noel's Valkyrie armor, Asta's devil being Liabe and being adopted, Megicula's manifestation through Asier's soul, etc. Okay. Well, that's just what openings do. Okay. So, I'm sorry, did I just miss the point to that little snippet? Even more evidence. Okay. Maybe I'm missing the point. I don't get the point of why this was added. Okay. And in opening 2, the pure captains are shown with white backgrounds. I've seen this before. And the traders were shown with black backgrounds, which happened in that exact order. First, the captain of the Purple Orchis turned out to be a trader. And then William, so Julius follows William in that order. Okay. I see the logic here. And there could be something to it. Probably. Because, yeah, look who is blacked out. It's some of the more sus people. And Julius kind of did watch the Elf Arc happen. So I definitely get why people find him sus, for sure. I think just more in Julius's case. So, like, we come to a point, right, where we have to figure out what is actually evil and what is good. There's a difference of a character being evil and being good versus a character using good and evil as a vehicle to get to an end goal that falls under one of the two. So you can easily be a good character. You can do good things, societally rationalized as good things, to ultimately end up in a spot that puts you in a position of power to do evil things, right? So there's a huge difference between the two. Now, we don't know too much about Gildray still, and I think that's on purpose because he was working on the border of the Spade Kingdom, if I get that correct. Either that or the Diamond. I think it was Diamond, actually. But was also working in the black market, obviously. So, I mean, we have to understand, like, why Gildray did what he did. And I think he goes on to say it's something about, like, you know, just wanting to have more money, more power, and stuff like that. I would hope there's a bit more, because the relationship with Rev Cheese seems to be a bit closer than just, like, superficial things. He must have an idea of what's going on. And why he's doing what he's doing, because ultimately you're fucking yourself over if you're working for the forces of evil, knowing full well that it's going to destroy everything you know and love, which then topples the system of even needing money or power. It just doesn't make any sense. So either he's really dumb or there's a little bit more to his story. Now William, you guys know how I feel about Mulim, I assume. He's the worst kind of person you could ever have. It's someone who's good to the worst fault ever. William is not evil, I guess. He's not the one like Lucifero coming out here like, I'm going to kill your parents. I'm going to kill your granny, your auntie, your papa, your mammy. He's going to take your how does that lyric go? Your Grammy, your auntie, your mama, your mammy. I'll take those plain old zebra jammies secondhand. I'll rock that that he's not doing that to to the characters in this series. But he might as well have by letting Padre take over. So it's just weird. Julius, we just don't have any clue about right now. But he did watch the Elf Arc happen. He knew something was going on. So then Rouge just realized Julius is called Wizard King and she's called Witch Queen. King and Queen. Okay. It'd make perfect sense for both of them to be devil-possessed since they already share many parallels. I think overall, Rouge had some pretty good points here. I would only disagree on the Rom part and the whole thing with like the shading. I don't delve too much into those just because I don't know. I just don't. But there could easily be something there. So yeah, thanks for tagging me in that. That's interesting. Let's see. I'm back on the chats. Just not the last two. Okay. When did Lolo Pechka transform? So like she has the Lolo Pechka where she's got the goofy glasses on and all that stuff, right? And then you see her more regal form. That's what I consider a transformation, just because we have that queen while they're fighting Vonica going through like the library, right? It's not it doesn't seem like it's her, in my opinion. Two, when was the woman shown as the past was which I don't remember, but I know it's on my page. I'll retweet it after this stream. But yeah, she's definitely up there. She's standing in front of a guy that looks like Leo, but like much taller and a little more slender. So it was really interesting, actually. I heard the time demon Astaroth could be Asta's dad and named son after him, because I heard he is planning to use his son's body someday. I think that does sound messed up. Okay, yeah. I've heard that theory as well. The Astaroth has never been equated to time except for one time that I've seen. And it was from a source that wasn't exactly reliable, but it did pin him down as the supreme ruler of time and space. Both together, like time-space. Or space-time. So, but I've never been able to find anything that claims that same thing ever again. So I've just never used it. But I mean, at this point, it does make sense that Astaroth might have it. I really don't know what to think, to be honest with you. I feel like some of the upper portions of the clipboard are still unsettled territory. And it's going to be fleshed out by some of the humans that we have in the series right now. But we'll see. It's just very hard to understand. But it does seem like Tabata is putting a pretty intentional shroud of mystery over Astaroth in this series. So I'm curious to see what he's got planned. Spitting lyrics. Awesome. Hey, Broku and Jack, do you think that the devil Astaroth and Asta can be connected somehow because of how similar the names are? Do you think that Asta will eventually find out about his mother? Okay. So, do I think Astaroth and Asta are connected because of their names? Possibly. I hate that. I've said it many times before. I hate that line of thought. Not saying I hate like what you said, but I'm saying like it's a common thing for people to do. And I said this back when I was in high school and Naruto was still coming out, about people saying that Toby was Obito, because if you mix up those letters, it forms Obit, and then you're just missing the O. And I was like, that's so freaking whack to me because, here I was splitting hairs, right? I'm like, we have Minato who's got like a space-time ninjutsu, and then this guy's got a Sharingan. Sure, but he's also got a space-time ninjutsu based off of that Sharingan. So I was thinking, like, if a user could, a non-Uchiha could use a Sharingan, that whatever the result of the Mangekyo would be reflective of ninjutsu that they use and better suits their fighting style. So it was like my thing, and I was hoping that he was setting Naruto up for failure ultimately, so that he could collect the Nine Tails easier by abusing Naruto's trust as his father to reach whatever end goal he's trying to get to. Now, you guys, I've been making these wild theories for a long time. Didn't end up coming true at all. And the people that were saying the Tobi Obito theory, they ended up being right. And so I've got to say, by previous past experiences, yeah, Asta and Astaroth are probably related because of their names. What's interesting about Astaroth, though, is that this is not a fallen angel. This is not a demon. This is actually a fallen god. So it's a different territory altogether. And Astaroth, if we flip the correspondence from its clipbotic realm to a Sephirotic realm, ends up coming from the place that Lucifer falls from. So what we get is in almost a really specific dynamic, right? Where Astaroth has no idea why he fell, or she, before the fall, fell. And is genuinely confused as to why any of it happened, and strives to do good. While Lucifer kind of went the other direction, while he does feel like he was justified in his beliefs, he fell and knows exactly why he fell, because he thinks God is the prideful one and not him. So he goes the completely other direction. So Astaroth is going to be a really cool case, I think. Whether it's going to be related to Asta or not, doesn't really matter to me. But if it does end up as a relation, I don't know. It just follows the typical anime trope of someone's father being someone kind of cool. I don't know. So it's just not my cup of tea, personally. I think that Liebe knew that he used to. I'm sorry. Am I reading this wrong? I think that Liebe knew that he used to goes by Asta in the human life. Okay, I see what you're saying. I think that Liebe knew that he used to go by Asta in the human life, then found out the truth that he was named after the time demon that wants his body. I think he wants to be nameless. I don't think Liebe knows his name, his true name. I don't think. But I did have a theory on that, actually. Just if anyone ever read Bleach or watched Bleach, the whole Espada coming into being, where they have to eat another Espada to be able, or not Espada, but another Hollow to ascend into like a Menos Grande or something like that. There's a whole evolution tree for Hollows into Espada. But this involves Liebe dying. So going from one of the higher realms of the Clipot, dying, then going to a lower realm, dying again, going lower and lower and lower till he reaches the top where he was thrown out. I think that's a possibility. That he was a much bigger being with much more power, and then through these multiple deaths ended up losing his memory and sense of who he was. So I think that at least has some can hold some water there. Do you think angels would have a similar hierarchy to devils, like 3 supreme angels who control concepts like time, space, and gravity? Yes, yeah. As above, so below. That whole thing. I do believe in that for sure. Let's see. All right. Who else's channel or account should I go to? That's like Black Clover. Oh, you know what? We haven't ever gone to Quan's account. That's where we're gonna go. Mimosa Nation. Here we go. I know it's not going to be... Dude, what happened here? What in the world? Dude, later. Later. Remind me tomorrow. Not now. What prompted all this? Stop! Good Lord. Alright. Anyway, why are we not on Quan's page? Still open for questions up here. Yo, Quan's at 1,900 followers right now. Can I beat him to 2,000? I would like to beat Quan to 2,000. That's what I want to do. Okay, let's see what he got. He's pinned. Never thought I'd have to make this video. Fuegoleon kind of sucks. Cool. He does, though. Why did you not think you'd have to make that video? Fuegoleon is a complete ass, dude. He sucks. But it's a Quan credible take, so we know it's going to be especially bad. Let's see. Here comes all the subtweets from Quan's Fuegoleon video. Sheesh, yo. Yeah, it's going to happen. Let's see. Dude, Quan is like, he's got to be the smartest motherfucker on this whole thing, dude. He's built up this personality of saying the most ridiculous things, and getting so much clout over saying it, and he gets the whole community talking about this ridiculous shit. He really had the entire community talking about Dante versus like 5 billion lions. Like, why are we talking about this? This is only things Quan can do. Anyway, the Red Cloak would actually be a good one to go to after this. I've been trying to tell you guys Fuegoleon truly is a Mickey Mouse captain. I mean, yeah, he is. Beats a retired Kaiser in his 50s. Clown. One-shots his vice captain. Trash. Makes a mid-ass speech tricking y'all. Yep. Doesn't do shit in the Spade Raid. Facts. There are no lies. There are none. Fuegoleon is the worst. The worst. Peep the hump, dude. Oh, we're all just retweeting. That's all we're doing here. This is how we get the community talking about ridiculous stuff. Why? I don't know why I did all that. Okay. What has he said, though? What has he said that... he reads Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale is also kind of garbage, I'm not going to lie. Vigilantes. Man, so our BC accounts don't really talk about BC like that. That's for sure. What? Yo. Someone said this to Jay? What is the context? This was just an attack. This was just an attack. What? No, yeah, that's got to be a burner. Yo, if you're one of these people, I'm gonna be super real right now. If you're one of those people who are too cowardly to say what you think to someone on your own account, reevaluate your life for real. You should be keeping the same energy in real life as you do on Twitter. I follow that rule. I will never change my tone for anyone in any setting for any reason. So I definitely hate people like that. I would have gone to the page, but I know I would just seen some bullshit. So please, if you are one of those people, deactivate that account and grow up. People still downplaying Dark Disciples. Dark Disciples would body 99.9% of pre-time sweep Broku with the power scaling stuff. I mean, yeah, the logic says that Dark Disciples would body pre-time skips characters. But people don't like hearing that sort of stuff. Because Gardevoir, all in all, is pretty lame. He's got rock hands. Who was his partner? Foyal had Misty Boy. That's all he was. we didn't really get like the disciples. In all honesty, weren't like super dope or anything like that. I think the dopest one for me was Servor, the Eye Mage. Other than that, everyone else was kind of cheeks, to be honest. So people don't really like, that sort of thought, but it's true. And the story couldn't progress if we introduced weaker villains. You know what I mean? So I did see people kind of jumping down Quan's throat for saying the stuff that he did, but it's true. But that's kind of what I was saying about Quan's like personality. Like, it starts out as a joke, but like the underlying message that he usually has, there's a good amount of truth to it, and people react to Quan off of past feelings for what he said, like throughout his time. So people don't give him the credibility that he should have, admittedly. But yeah, Quan's a character. I love him. I'm gonna read the chat real quick. Do I think maybe Libe's real name is Roth? That would mean that him and Asta combined would be Astaroth. I think Anime Balls Deep came out with that a long time ago. Again, I just don't like the name stuff. I think it's pretty whack. But is it possible? Sure. I heard Lucida was sharing bodies. Wait, you heard that Lucida was sharing a body with a time devil? And she knew that Liebe was her son. Was her son Asta after he gets reincarnated as a demon, but she decided to give him a new name. Oh, that's an interesting take. That might even be a hot take. With Sita as a devil host. Huh. I don't know, man. I really don't. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. I think that's interesting. You know what would be kind of cool thinking about that, because it sounds like the Attack Titan thing that Eren Yeager went through, where the Attack Titan could essentially write events the way it wanted to make sure that it wins in the end. I think that kind of concept would be pretty cool, for sure. I only need 17 what? I don't know what that means. Shelly again. Hey, Broku and Jack, I have a Christian and Norse theory that I want to share with you guys. Cool. Share it. I mean, a test Fuego. I don't know. Well, I don't know what you're saying. Fuego put up a better fight than Nozel? I'm sorry, what? So, I assume you meant at least Fuego put up a better fight than Nozel. No, he didn't. Okay, so look. Let's talk about Fuegoleon and Nozel real quick. Fuegoleon probably, without a doubt, has a higher attack potential than Nozel does. However, Nozel is wildly stronger than Fuegoleon as far as making tactics and setting his opponent up for failure, as we saw with Dark Elf Patri, which Fuegoleon would not have beat if he was in that situation. Like, let's be real. He would not have beat Dark Elf Patri. Now, yes, I'm aware of the element advantage that Nozel had, but still, Dark Elf Patri was outclassing him in speed and strength and just mana amount, right? So Nozel only had a finite time to work, and he was able to come up with a plan that successfully stops him, and only didn't kill Dark Elf Patri because Asta wanted a chance to get to him. That was it. Other than that, this guy is going toe-to-toe, ran up on Magicula like she was anyone else. Then we have Fuegoleon, who was getting bodied by Lucifero. Nozel saves him in the same breath as him traveling towards Lucifero to land an attack which ends up not working, but the attack was a feint to trap Lucifero within the Mercury, to harden it, to immobilize him for just a brief amount of time for the scrub Fuegoleon to land a punch with Mythological. Like, he set that up for him. Other than that, Fuego has done nothing to threaten Lucifero. He needed Nozel. We're talking levels, bro. But I will not say that Fuegoleon is weak, but he is not on the level Nozel is. I'm sorry. Nozel is Wizard King times 10. Okay. Well, I'm Miguel. It's 4:38. Thank you for coming in. Cool. Am I saying that right? Cool. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah. Philip, I had to show your comment. But yeah, that was some weirdo stuff for sure. Let's see. That's mine. Let's see. Quan, tweet about something. BC, what are you doing? This is February 24th. It's been 3 days, and you have nothing significant, except for that video, of course, that you guys should go watch. Is J. Claude disagreeing with Quan here? No, beginning time skip Uno is stronger than pre-time skip Mythological. Okay, beginning time skip Uno stronger than time skip pre-time skip Mythological. Yes. Garderoy was fast and strong enough to react and tank Spirit Dive Uno, who's faster. Why is he replying to Quan like this? Isn't Quan on this boat? Wait, hold up, sorry. Maybe I've got it backwards. So let me get this straight. Y'all believe that? Okay, yeah. He is agreeing with Quan. Yeah. Got it. I want to get off of this power scale. What else does Quan say? This is no one watches Fairy Tale. I'm sorry. Quan spitting? Oh, that's where it started, the Leo thing. Because he said Leo was stronger than, I think, pre-time skip Mythological. Which, at a first glance, is a really, really hot take. But then, it's kind of tough, man. Because I see why people are like, no, this isn't right. Because Mythological is literally negating spells of any attribute with her fire. And Leo's definitely not doing that. Fuego's definitely not doing that. So it's definitely hard when you have things like that, and you're taking that into consideration. So I think that's where most of the backlash is coming from. But with all logic included, he would have to be stronger than Mythological pre-time skip, for sure. But Quan, I gave you a chance, and you there's too much One Piece, too much Fairy Tale. I think it's all been Fairy Tale. I don't know. I can't tell the difference. It's all kind of mid to me. All right, we're gonna go to JCloud. We might end on JCloud unless you guys got some other accounts. But this has been kind of a long stream so far. Let me go back to the chat. There's one more. Here's my theory. I think there is a war between angels and gods many, many years ago, but I am thinking that the gods that once were the very first mages who were taught by the angels. Interesting theory. Interesting. With some stuff I'm still compiling, I would say I think you're onto something. But yeah, I don't want to spoil any more than I already have in this video, for sure. Cellmate, how do you feel about King Lois finding Uno's magic stone in Elysia? I don't think that thing would just be laying around just anywhere, considering what it's capable of. He might have been looking for it. So I have 3, maybe 4 videos talking about this, but it has to do with Hyperborean lineage. It's very hard to explain in short terms, so I do recommend just watching the video. But it talks about Uno's very unique spiritual heritage, and there's a stone passed, there are gifts in general passed from Hyperborea down to Delos, to the humans of Delos, and the Hyperboreans interact with them, and at some point there is even a stone. that became known as the Philosopher's Stone that went from Hyperborea to Delos. And there's even a story about women from Hyperborea going to Delos to intermingle with humans, the women coming back without one of them, and the one that stayed behind became the queen of Delos, where they ended up having a kid who also is half Hyperborean and half Delian, or whatever they call them. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's Tyrodal lore, so they go really hard into like Lucifer, Hyperborea, and Atlantis, which again I do have extensive videos on. Oh look, Mick's here. I like the idea that Liabe is Lucida's actual son. Liabe could have Alan's body. Asta has Liabe's body, and Asta's soul is Alan. I gotta read that whole thing again because all the wires in my brain are all mixed up now. So Liabe is the real son of Lucida in this. Okay. Liabe could have Alan's body. Okay. Liabe has Alan's body. And Asta's soul is Alan reincarnated. It's a messy idea. Okay. It's a lot to keep up with. I wouldn't call it messy. But okay, so I feel like I would just disagree with Liabe being Lucida's son. Just because she made it a point to show like her dropping off Asta at the church, and she has a lot of regret towards that moment. So I don't know about that, but Liabe having Alan's body, possible, very possible. Fire and Blackfire made that connection with Liabe possibly being Moloch. But I haven't connected it to Alan at all. So I think that'd be interesting. And Asta has Liabe's body. I just don't know how that works. Because you have a third-party body. So, like, where did that one come from? You know what I mean? You might be onto something. You usually are. You have some really good theories. So I think you just got to flesh it out a bit more. Wizard King Minato. I will not. Again, I will not. So... all right. What's Jay been posting? What kind of foolishness is this guy posting? Maybe I should drop a Fuegoleon video to cause more chaos. Let's all drop Fuegoleon videos today. So, Wizard King, you've got to drop a Fuegoleon video. A Fuegoleon being ass video, specifically. Because we gotta add to this. It's the truth, and the truth needs to be spread. And Mish or Mick, clear it up right now. M-I-S-H or M-I-C-K. But Mick, you should also drop a Fuegoleon being trash video as well as your debut into YouTube. Just saying. Here comes all the subtweets from Quancredibles. Yeah, you read that one. So does Jay think that Fuegoleon is not trash? Is that what I'm getting? Because Fuegoleon is trash. We know how Jay is with all instincts. I mean, Quancredible's one thing, but Jay is like, bro, you got the worst take ever. What are you talking about? I fear Quan Spittin' and Fuego ain't ready to hear the truth. Facts. Oh, okay. So he's on board. He's on board. Okay. He actually didn't miss this time. So that's a plus. That's a plus for Jay. Let's see. I don't know why these My Hero Academia chapters haven't been hitting for me. Like, I'll tell you why they haven't been hitting, Jay. You're not gonna like it, but MHA fell off pretty hard. Ain't no way you made the show account. Oh yeah, we read that. Dude, why? It's February 27th. You guys don't post anything? Elden Ring. I don't even know what Elden Ring is. It's videos going around of innocent. Oh yeah. We're not going to talk about Russia because I can get into it, but that whole situation is frustrating as fuck. Most Black Clover fans being impatient about the movie is not surprising. It's not surprising. They're impatient when it comes to the story. Facts. Yeah, we are. But I mean, it's not unrealistic that we want some movie content because they've been kind of putting it in our faces, you know. But I also don't like anime movies, so that's another thing. I don't like a lot of stuff, you guys. I sound like Sasuke. My family was killed, and I don't like anything. I just want my revenge. I just need to be loved. I need to be hugged. Is what I need. Might do a Twitter space later, depending on how crazy these leaps. What? You don't do Twitter spaces, bro. I do Twitter spaces. Stay out of my lane, all right? It's my lane. No one else does spaces. I do spaces. You stay in your lane. You keep promoting Fuegoleon not being trash or something. I don't know. But that's my lane, all right? Someone let J Cloud know right now. About to go on an unfollow spree and refollow my active mutuals and who I interact with. My bad if I unfollow you in advance. Man, you can't fire me because I quit. Just kidding. I'm not gonna follow. That's petty. I won't do that. Let's see if anyone's like begging. I always love looking at these because people go like, "Oh no, like I've been interacting this whole time. I've just been, I've been busy counting sand in my bathtub." The first one, WK MINATO, trying to stay on Jay's good side. Wow, bro. Wow. WK, how far are you fallen? And then Red Cloak groveling? Nah. Trash. Groveling. Kino, come on, man. This is bait. He's not going to do it. Ah, man. Stark's a good guy. I like Stark a lot. You better not unfollow Stark. Alright, you know what? Let's see. Unfollow me. See what happens. I have 6 out of the 8. Wait, is it 8 numbers? 9 numbers. 9. 69. I have 6 out of the 9 numbers needed for your social security. Do you really want to play this game with me? All right. Let's see what happens. If I get unfollowed, I'll retweet it and I'll let you guys know. But the ball's now in his court, so you're not gonna threaten me to be. No way. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he unfollows. I actually have more numbers for Social Security for anyone who might want it, So just it. Can't wait till Tabata reveals more lore of the past users of Five Leaf Grimoires, past events and histories way before Licht and Lumiere era. Yeah, totally dope. We need all that lore. Tabata's been like beating around the bush, giving us a little, cat and mouse chase. Like we actually do need all that lore. If there is lore on anyone who's got Five Leaf Clover before this, so that would be interesting. Let me read the chat real quick. I think the first mages winds up hungry for power and wants to overthrow heaven. Didn't I just read this? Oh no, it's another one. Okay, it wants to overthrow heaven by becoming gods, and this leads to a war. But the angels end up losing the war, so some angels get sent to the underworld. Cool. Wizard King sus. Yeah, you are, dude. I saw you on that J Cloud post. You are pretty sus right now. I think some of the angels end up serving under the gods to create new mages with humans. Interesting. Mick pretty much... oh, dude, Mick stole your theory? Mick, why are you stealing Shelley's theory, dude? It's pronounced Mick, but it's written with the H. Cool. So we know. Now we know. When do you see Liu Bei realizing his advantages in this contract with... I don't know, man. Liu Bei's... Okay, I'm sorry. I was... free up space. No. I won't. I won't free up space. Um, I'm not to talk down on Liebe because he only knows what he knows. He hasn't been exposed to much. With that said, I think Liebe is just kind of dumb right now. Why not tell Asta that's his mom? Number one, that's my big thing. Number two, we got to stop saying things with so much certainty when you were only a child in the underworld and you probably didn't have a great understanding of what was going on. And then three, the 50-50 obviously implies that Liebe has just as much of a stake in this contract as Asta does. So he could have his own, I don't know, human union, but he's not doing it for some reason. But he should have more than 50%, being that Asta gave him an entire arm from his actual body. So, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know when he's going to realize it, though. Hopefully soon. Mick, got it. Okay, just read that. What do you think Gray's magic actually is? I've talked about this a lot. I think it ultimately has to do with manipulating causality. If I were to relate her to someone, more like Orihime. So yeah, that's what I think. But I do think we have a better read on it as transmutation. I think that makes sense. But how far transmutation goes, who knows? So yeah. Sell me. Oh wait, WK. I just threaten people and have dad jokes. It's what Twitter is for. Yeah, you don't have dad jokes on your Twitter though. You don't make dad jokes. No. You're failing if that's what Twitter's for, because I've not seen one dad joke on your account, my guy. So, not only are you simp for JCloud, but now you're a liar who doesn't make dad jokes? I don't know, man. I don't know. Choosing some weird hills to die on here. Could an ancient demon potentially revert back human if Saint Stages use it? So that's something I did talk about. I do hope that I was hoping that the demon that Mario Leona was fighting would revert back somehow, some way, and then that being would tell us how that happened and like give us lore itself. But I don't see it happening. So, do I think it's possible? I think it is possible. If anything, I need it to happen. I need someone to become an ancient devil so we can see it firsthand, or I need this ancient devil to somehow come back. And where did it go? Did it get defeated? I don't even remember what happened. But yeah, I don't think it got defeated, you guys. Where is it? Can someone clear that up for me? Because I'm legitimately drawing a blank. But I do want that to happen. So I think that's cool that you brought that up. I've been thinking about the time demon working with the angels to rebel against gods, because I heard his plan is using Asta and Liebe's anti-magic for wiping out people's magic to get back at the gods. Interesting theory. You have a follow-up for Sandaltron plan? Yeah, a bit. It's going to be much smaller videos, kind of giving the reasons as to why those two are who they are in the cosmic span of things. But as far as like a follow-up, it's more of how Metatron, I don't think you were here in the beginning where I kind of talked about it, but Metatron ends up getting betrayed by God, because we find out that God is Yaldabaoth, and Yaldabaoth is not a good god. He's more or less evil. So the bigger push to the story would end up being getting back to Sophia, his mother, who is part of the more divine creation of things. And will thus bring us back to the real God who is supposed to be benevolent. But yeah, there will be a follow-up with evidence that leads up to that and whatnot. All right. Shelley apologizes. Or no, accepts your apology, Mick, for stealing their theory. So, you got to stop stealing theories, man. You really do. Man, crazy world we live in. So now we're talking about Super Bowl. This is your king, you guys. J Cloud is your king. And it's February 11th. It is now February 27th, and he hasn't really posted any Black Clover stuff. How am I supposed to be scrolling through Twitter and your king, J Cloud, isn't even posting anything? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't know. I should leave him a message of how wildly disappointed I am in him, actually. Oh, snap. He saw it. All right, let's see if he did it. Let's see. Nope, still mutual. You don't have what it takes to unfollow me, J Cloud. J Cloud. Why am I saying J Mist? J Mist? J a slight amount of fog. J just a wisp of smoke, if you will. No. You don't have what it takes. But he's obviously threatened. People who overuse the laugh emoji and the skull emoji in this exact sequence is just blatant. He's threatened by what I said. And it really took a huge toll on his psyche. So this is, I believe Sun Tzu wrote about this. This is the art of war. I'm now in his head. He's now like, does he really have 6 out of 9 numbers for my Social Security? Do I need to start changing my credit card numbers? Do I need to move? Do I need to change addresses? I'm in his head now. I'm in his head. He can't say otherwise. So that's the thing. I'll like it to make him think like, oh no, I'm just playing, but I'm not, because I actually do have 6 out of 9 numbers. Oh man, I'm a different breed, you guys. You guys don't want to get on my bad side like Jay has, because I can end it at any moment. Right now, he's only on here because I'm allowing him to be on here. So pass that on. Let's see what you guys are saying. Imagine if we got interaction between Megicula and Morris there. So yeah, I think that most of us were really hoping for that interaction, and we just never got it. And I was hoping for at least a Sally and Morris interaction, a Sally and Megicula interaction, and we just didn't get it. What are your thoughts on characters that use energies or powers not related to mana? Gravity, what do you mean? Like the possibility of it? You just keep running up the likes. Do I dare just go through the TL? I don't really see a hentai on the TL, so I don't think we're at risk or anything. But we'll see. What are these promoted ads, man? See, bruh, why am I seeing Roku? Stop supporting this stuff, man. No one. I'm sorry. I don't want to say anything mean. So, but guys, we don't need to know when you're horny. We really don't. We can live without it. So Roth posted, Morris calling Belle a sylph instead of the sylph makes me think there are actually populations of spirits, meaning more sylph salamanders, undines, and gnomes that need to get off their lazy asses and join the fight. Well, funny you should say that, because we have a video coming up about it. But yeah, they're more than likely more than one of each, for sure. Oh look, what is Mick posting? Let's go. Go peep Duron. I don't know how to say it. Duron? Maybe. I've been hearing really good stuff about it, so I'm going to one day. Noel's ancestor from her father's side. Wait, didn't this was Nozel? This wasn't a. Are you talking about the silhouette in this, or are we just talking about Poseidon over here? Because yeah, this was in Nozel's flashback of him talking down to Noel for what's like really bad for what seemed like the first time, and he's going through it like, how can I call myself a big brother? Like, I'm essentially ruining her life, and I like it's just like, yeah. Pretty sure. But yeah, if you're talking about this guy being a relative, that's quite possible for sure. Faux show. Let's see. That's not you. Went completely blind into Dun and man. First chapter, Turbo Granny is wild. That's Turbo Granny. Sold! When the Time Devil was introduced with the body of Heath, wasn't I just talking about this with someone? I saw this tweet. So I think this is, yeah, Nick, that ended up being Nozel. In that panel, it shows it from his perspective. So I thought this was interesting, what you said, Mick, about Heath being introduced as like the Time Devil. It's something that would be really cool to include. The only thing is that I feel like the payoff just isn't there because Heath wasn't that big of a villain. You know what I mean? So like if Heath ended, because let's get it right. So Heath was really like Asta's first official mission, right, as a knight. And then he was very strict about time and all that stuff, and he had ice magic, which we find very rare, because the only other mage prior to us seeing Lilith that had ice magic was Fuegoleon. So that in and of itself is very interesting. So I'm not opposed to the idea in general. It's just, what does Tabata do to make this really pay off? To like, oh shit, like it's about to go down. Because Heath served his role already, and I just don't see it really going down like that. But I do think this is cool, so don't get me wrong. I'm just struggling to see what Tabata does to make it go like, damn, this was worth like the 300 chapters between him dying and us now. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do think it's a cool theory. Yashimon, I'm behind 2 chapters, so I definitely don't want to look at this. But if you guys aren't reading Yashimon, it's a good read. It's pretty cool. Are you ranking these? Elf Saga, time skip, current saga, second time. Hold on. Sorry, I lost myself. Elf Saga, cool. Time skip, cool. Spade. Second time skip. What was the other time skip? I'm missing it. And the last saga? Oh, this is how you want Tabata to write the series. Wait, what? Oh, okay, yeah. So we're currently in the current saga. Duh. And then you want another time skip, and then you want it to end. Okay, I see what you're saying. I hope it lasts longer than that, because Tabata even goes like, I want this to be a long-lasting series like Naruto. So hopefully it lasts longer than that. All part of Morris's plans. This is something that cracks me up all the time. Not specific like what's said here, but I think it's hilarious when people like circle something in a picture, but it's like it's one of those like you can't miss it sort of things, because you have to read what's going on to get the point. I don't know, I find it like personally hilarious. I can see all sorts of things, and I feel as though I'm going to have this amazing flash of insight. So I talked about this a long time ago. This was a Jack Clover, in fact, talking about the third eye being able to see things a normal person wouldn't be able to see because of this exact line, actually. Interesting. Trojin! I got to read the most current one still. I haven't. I think we read this last stream, right? I feel like Morris wouldn't be the type to sacrifice. Yeah, we read that last stream. So at least Mick is current with his theories here. The most ridiculous part about this account is this. The amount of followers. Fucking ridiculous. You guys. Given that Mick hasn't posted some of, like, the theories that are, like, super, super bangers, as often as he used to. I still think it's worth a follow, you guys. Just saying, because when they're bangers, they're fucking bangers. Let's see what's happening here. What is this? I don't know about this. It could be a coincidence. I'll always stand by my Asta. Okay, the Asta Jesus. No more Asta Jesus. I've. Oh, okay, I'll read it. There's a lot of connections: virgin birth, crown of thorns, the three main mythologies. Also, if Asta is Jesus, the black bull may reference the 12 apostles. The 2 black bulls die this arc, Yami and someone else. Not including Asta, there would be 12. Just like the 12 apostles Jesus had, and one of them ended up betraying him. Also, if Asta gets tempted by a devil for power or more power, that also would prove the theory is right, and him getting tempted is very likely. Also, he may sacrifice himself and get trapped in hell for 40 days. Also, the fact when Jesus was around, the government hated him. The nobles hate Asta. Jesus slowly turned people to see the truth. And throughout the following, Asta is slowly turning the nobles around and other people. Jesus was known as a savior to people. Asta could be known as a savior to the Clover, since he always is saving them. Okay, I get what you're saying. But all of this stuff has been said many times before, both by me and by WK. Actually, I was on WK's thing because I wanted to watch a video with you guys, but I wouldn't have the sound. So maybe that's another stream. But I wanted to watch this because this is probably the most underrated theory that's come up in this community that has been stolen many times over. And then if we go to this, this video in particular, the Star Sapphire video that WK has, he talks about what makes the star magic so interesting, right? He goes into what's called the Arma Christi. Now, I suggest watching this because I'm not going to sum it up for you. But all this Jesus stuff is definitely not new. Again, has been said by WK himself, and he's made tweets about it. I've made tweets about it. I have videos about it. Broku's made videos about this. I think he's the only one out of all of us that actually has a picture of Asta side by side with Jesus. So, I don't know. I'm going to give credit to where credit is due. And those guys definitely deserve some credit for those theories. I've seen this one before, actually. On the Vanessa one. I don't know about that one. Okay, yeah. Spirit dive forms are... Okay. Oh, that's connected to Bluetooth. Yo. No sound. I want to keep going. I actually want to debate that. Is it Fenrir anymore? I used to think it was Fenrir, but now I'm more convinced that it's either Skulti or Haki, which ends up being Fenrir for one of them, but still. First, oh, dude, I don't want to read any more. Oh, what happened? I don't want to read any more things. Fuegoleon and Hercules. Fuegoleon and Hercules. What? I think it's the most potential to be true. Hercules and Fuego had many similarities. The one that sticks out the most to me is that they're heart of fire and a... Wait, what? Also in Hercules' story, he kills a lion and wears his skin. Fuego wears his squad of lions around. What? I'm sorry. I vehemently disagree with that one. That was a very loose connection. The rest were pretty good, though. Yami. I tried hard to find one with Yami. I thought it would be the Japanese god of darkness, but I couldn't find any. I tried to find some clans with darkness symbol, but couldn't find any. So I just will have some ties with Erebus, the primordial being of darkness. Okay, that in itself is good connection. But Hades is a good one. Belphegor is a great one. Who else? There's other parallels for. There's plenty of parallels for Yami. That's crazy. They couldn't find one. Okay, this should be the last one. They only give you a millisecond to view the last one. TikTok is something else. This one is very cool in my opinion. Asta's Jesus is okay. We just read that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the follow. If you're here, Mino. What's software engineer? Okay. Love making edits. Love and respect each other. Faux show. All right. Let me go through the comments. I think I may end it pretty soon here. Depends on what you guys are saying here. So Philip, just seen a TikTok. There's a guy asking the comments, what do you think about Drumluck's magic is? Most answers were either poison or nightmare magic. What do you think it is? I've been saying it before, but I'm on board with poison or acid for right now. But it's going to be more than just like the poisonous attributes, of course. It's going to be something like it affects all concepts, and then they don't really affect concepts like they should, in my opinion. But something like that. Mixed theories are amazing. I agree. The Black Clover fandom don't like my idea. I don't know what it is, dude. I really don't know what the deal is. Because I see some accounts on here that get aired for having a really cool take on something, and but as soon as like a bigger account says it, whether I don't know if they're like sniping the tweet or not, but like they get that credit, and I guess you can consider me like knocked in that sense. Like I only like it like when things are done right, and Mick is one of those people that like looks into the story. Like a lot of theorists that you guys watch, like Broku and J Cloud, Quan, and you guys, not you guys in particular, but like people just don't respect them that much for whatever reason. Hopefully, we can change that soon, though. I really hope we will get 5 arcs after the time skip that leads into the last arc of the series. That's a lot of arcs. I don't trust Light Mage's channel. That's funny. I'll always get like a message from someone that is just like the newest thumbnail from Light Mage, and it just cracks me up every time. He's like the king of clickbait. I love it. So let's see. We need more in dwarves and Charmy. Yeah, we do. We do. I think dwarves were the race before elves, and then before them, I think they were giants. Because even what's his name, Rill's elf counterpart, I think he even says that they were an ancient race of dwarves. So it just kind of indicates that there was a race before them that preceded them. What's up, Shelly, I know, right? That dude just repeats the same shit over and over. I actually haven't watched any of Light Mage's stuff. I don't watch most of anyone's stuff, to be honest with you. If anything, I do keep up with the homies like WK. I try to tune into like Josuke's live stream as often as I can, even if I'm at work. And Broku to like just like show support and stuff, but I do it for a couple reasons. Like I don't want to be persuaded by another theory and start like making a theory off of it. I like to just stay in my lane, so I kind of do it to prevent that. And I also just don't have a whole lot of time, except for like days like today, where I'd rather just sit and talk with you guys. But I mean, I would hope that people aren't just trolling the fandom with random stuff that isn't well researched. I think the fandom deserves a bit more than that. Let's see. Mick, I would love to see a steampunk theme with dwarves. That'd be cool. actually. Roth, we need Charmy to do anything useful this. Yeah, we do, actually. We need Charmy having potentially one of the 3/2 wolves from Norse mythology makes her a key player, and the fact that she's in love with makes it even better. But the fact that she's not in this right now, it just makes no sense to me. So I hope she does come pretty soon. I heard Adramelech's magic can be sun magic according to his demonology. It depends on the route Tabata goes. Yeah, it's possible. It is possible. Light Mage's videos are funny, but whoever draws those thumbnails has some serious talent. Sure do. Because he cranks out videos like every day, right? I mean, yeah, whoever's drawing those are quick. But I also think that Arto Debiru, hopefully I'm saying it right, pumped out that thumbnail on the Asta Metatron video within like an hour. Like, it had something to show me, and I was like, bro, like, you're amazing. So we got some really talented people in this community, for real. Josuke's not streaming tonight. He's in that game. He did say he was going to play that game a lot. He was going to train and then stream it. So hopefully he's not streaming right now. I don't want to be streaming while he's doing it. About to post the clips from last stream. Oh, wait, there are clips from last stream, Kino? Oh, for Josuke's. Okay, for sure. Because last stream got heated in the beginning. RT and Quan were going at it, man. Yeah, that last stream was something. I think it's funny with like those guys. Like I was saying a little bit before this, I think everyone's initial gut reaction is they see Quan's tweet or video and go, dislike. I disagree with this, just because that's what Quan's tactic is to like make people feel a certain way so that they interact with him, and it works 10 times out of 10. So I found in that argument, people were saying things that Quan was essentially saying, but they just needed themselves to say it to kind of hear it. But yeah, it's just a really funny dynamic. That's only something Quan can do. I got one comment on this. I just want to see what this comment is. Mina just laughing at it. Yeah. Wait? Hold on. Did I get ratioed? You guys. All right. You know what? This stream is done. There's no way that I really came up. I rolled up on your king with the utmost disrespect, and you guys allowed him. No, I take my life back. You guys allowed him to ratio me? That is ridiculous. No, dude. See, I can't mess with you guys anymore. I really can't. What do I do? What do I have to do to take his spot right now? What should I write? Someone tell me what to write right now before I end the stream. We're gonna send this guy a nice little message from us collectively. What do we say? Someone, I need something right now. At JCloud Anime Talk. What do we do? I'm gonna let him know I took my like back because I refuse to be ratioed by a peasant. Come on. I need the inner toxic anime nerds to come out. This is the one time I need you to be toxic. Let's go. Okay, Kino's thinking. But Quan says he's not a power scaler, but then proceeds the powers. Yeah, that's what Quan does. I mean, hey, I'm not a power scaler either, but I'll talk about power scaling every now and again. But then it seems to be the only thing Quan talks about. So, he's a power scaler. Come on. Where's the toxicity in this chat? Come on. mentioned something about him being light-skinned. I will not comment on skin. I will not comment on skin. Let's see. Took my like back because I refuse to be ratioed by a peasant. Let's see. We gotta mention like his sub numbers not being good. Please do yourself a favor and be better at making content like I am, as per our differing subtotals, as mine is clearly greater than yours. What else? What else? Tell him that he's trash at basketball. You're also trash at basketball. Oops. Quan could pack you up. Oh, do I make this into a thread? I should make it into a thread. There we go. I'm gonna leave it right there. Oh, the pillow fight. That's a good one. P.S. You ain't no pillow fighter. You're a poop fighter. Got him! Oh. Bozo. Anything else? Okay. Alright. I'll put the R.I.P. Bozo there. There we go. I'll make it official. I'll put all the periods in there. R.I.P. Bozo. Got him! Another successful raid on J Cloud's Twitter. And I swear to God, you guys, if you let him ratio both of those things, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just raid all of your accounts. I'll take note of who's here. I'm going to make sure that I slander your account to hell and back. All right. He still hasn't unfollowed though, so that's a good sign. That means I've got the last laugh. Is what I have. All right. So I just want to make sure we're still mutes. Still mutes. Let's go. Kino, I did show him. And with that, you guys, I have to end the stream. It's been a long one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll probably do another one next weekend, depending on the time. But yeah, you guys gotta let me know what you want me to talk about, so it's not so stale on here. But it has been an off week for Black Clover, so I don't really blame you guys. But yeah, we'll body J Cloud in another one. We might body Quan in another video. We'll see. But you guys gotta let me know which accounts I gotta raid. So yeah, please do. I'll probably have some more theories within this week to follow up on some of the more recent stuff, along with talking about where spirits come from and what new ones we might be getting very soon. So stay tuned. But thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Thanks for keeping me entertained. Hopefully I was able to do the same for you. I will see you in the next one. It's been Jackal. It's a go. You either know or you don't.